The household of Hanlin Academician Dong was troubled by fox spirits. Tiles, pebbles and brick shards were liable to fly around the house like hailstones at any moment, and his family and household were forever having to take shelter and wait for the disturbance to abate before they dared carry on with their daily duties. Dong himself was so affected by this state of affairs that he rented a residence belonging to Under Secretary's son and moved there to avoid his troubles, but the fox spirits merely followed him. One day, when he was on duty at court and described this strange phenomenon to his colleagues, a senior minister mentioned a certain Taoist master from the northeast by the name of Jiao Ming, Scorched Moth, who lived in the inner Manchu city and issued exorcist spells and talismans reputed for their efficacy. Dong paid the man a personal call and requested his aid, whereupon the master wrote out some charms in cinnabar red ink and told Dong to paste them on his wall. The foxes were unperturbed by these measures, however, and continued to hurl things around with greater vigour than ever. Dong reported back to the Taoist, who was angered by this apparent failure of his charms, and came in person to Dong's house, where he set up an altar and performed a full rite of exorcism. Suddenly, they beheld a huge fox crouching on the ground before the altar. Dong's household had suffered long from this creature's antics, and the servants felt a deep-seated sense of grievance towards it. One of the maids went up to it and dealt it a blow, only to fall dead to the ground. "This is a vicious beast," exclaimed the Taoist. "Even I could not subdue it." The girl was very foolish to provoke it. He continued, "Nonetheless, we can now use her to question the fox." Pointing his index finger and middle finger at the maid, he pronounced certain spells, and suddenly she rose from the ground and knelt before him. The Taoist asked her where she hailed from. "I come from the western regions," replied the maid, in a voice that was clearly not her own, but that of the fox. "We have been here in the capital for 18 generations. How dare creatures like such as you dwell in the proximity of His Imperial Majesty? Off with you at once." The fox was silent, and the Taoist thumped the altar table angrily. "How dare you disobey my orders? Delay a moment longer and my magic powers will work on you harshly." The fox shrank back fearfully, indicating his submission, and the Taoist urged him once more to be gone. Meanwhile, the maid had fallen to the ground again, dead to the world. It was a long while before she regained consciousness. All of a sudden, they saw 4 or 5 white lumps of some strange substance go bouncing like balls one after the other along the eaves of the building until they were all gone. Then peace finally reigned in the Dong household.